There you have about 90% of the song. This is fun and really easy. This is, of course, Steve Miller, the Steve Miller Band, the Joker. Now, Steve's career started about 5, 6, 7 years before this became a hit in the late mid 60s, 66 or so, when he hit upon the San Francisco scene and joined and first started his blues band, the Steve Miller Blues Band. And they put out a few albums that kind of were a cross of blues and rock and San Francisco psychedelia. They had some pretty spacey tunes. So I really encourage you to check out albums like Children of the Future and Sailor, Brave New World. Anyway, the first 5 albums were pretty broad and experimental. They made a couple more that didn't do too well, but in 1973 he kind of changed direction and became a pop star with, of course, the Joker. And this is a great example of a simple 3-chord progression. It uses 3 chords. Well, it depends on if you count the D sus4 that happens at the end of the chorus for a few measures sometimes. And the really important thing, if you try to play along with the recording on this, it won't work. He had his guitar tuned down a whole step. So he was playing G's, C's, and D's, and playing this cool little riff. With a little, and I'm muting it down here. I'm using a little palm muting technique that helps it sound a little bit more like the bass, because the bass is really what kind of drives this song. Boom, boom, do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Now we do hear the guitar do this at the end. That kind of punches through. But the guitars are way in the background on this. So the main guitar is tuned down a whole step, playing G, C, and D, which really puts it in the key of F. So if you want to play along, either tune your guitar down or play it in F, in which case those little licks will not, or the little runs will not work as conveniently. Now Steve, if you look at live versions of this, Steve is not playing this. We've got a guitar player with a 12-string guitar, usually tuned down a whole step, playing G, C, and D. In any little configuration you want, it doesn't really matter too much. But what we're going to talk about in this lesson is really just how I would do a solo version of it, incorporating the lick, trying to incorporate a little bit of the fill that happens in there as well. Talk a little bit about palm muting, and probably this whole lesson is going to take about 10 minutes because there is not much else going on to discuss in here. I have a chart that shows you the chords, but they go G, C, D, and then back to C, and then in the chorus G's and C's back and forth until finally lands on D and kicks back to a C. Anyway, it's pretty easy to figure out what's going on here, and I do have tablature to really just the riff, but we'll talk about some little variations that happen on the riff as well. So, okay, there you have it, a little preview on what is about to be probably one of the shortest lessons I've put together in years. I guess we're resurrecting the target short idea here of just something that's so simple. I should be able to cover it in 10 minutes, but I've probably been talking here for 5, so I'm down to 5 more minutes. Okay, the next 5 minutes, you'll learn how to play the Joker. The rest of this lesson is available at TotallyGuitars, and it ends up covering a little bit more than I'd intended. The chord progression is very simple, but I also talk about palm muting techniques and ways to work in the bass line and the guitar lick that all are part of it. So if you'd like to check this out, it's up now at TotallyGuitars, part of our Target program, which is our monthly subscription program, also available as an individual purchase. We have a lot of free lessons there, though, if you want to get started and just kind of see if the way lessons are presented at TotallyGuitars fits your style. There are 600 or 700 lessons on different songs now, plus hundreds of other theory and technique lessons, all available as part of our subscription, the Target program. Free stuff if you like, but I really encourage you to check out the Target program. It has most of my lifetime's worth of teaching available at this point.